in the future? Where do you want to be?
In the future, I want to be successful in my career, and I want to be someplace that is maybe warm and sunny because I just love the sun. But I definitely want to be very successful in my career, and just kind of focusing on that and, I don't know, being happy. I don't know.
What does your career look like?
Well, my career, I'm transferring to an art school this next fall. I'm a fashion merchandising major, and I'll be completing my next 2 or 3 years there to get my fashion merchandising major. And then after that, I still don't know exactly where I'll go, but hopefully it's somewhere within that field. I don't know.
What does success look like to you?
Success.
When you talk about being
Successful?
yeah, in your career.
When I talk about being successful in my career, I mean that I just had it. Okay. When I mean being successful in my career, I mean that I have the job that I want in fashion merchandising, and I am making a good amount of money to support myself, and that I'm really happy doing it, and that I'm doing something that I love and making money at the same time. I don't know where I'll be in the future or if I'll be successful or not, but I hope I am.
I think that's perfect. Let's see what else. What makes you keep dreaming and keep pushing yourself?
What keeps pushing myself is knowing that I do have a future. Well, knowing that I'm already on the right path for the future I want, and what pushes me is just knowing that I'm moving next year, and I'm excited to kind of start new and focus on school, focus on getting a good job, and because I ultimately want to be able to get a job that I'm successful in, that I love, and start a family and be able to support them, and just start a life and just be happy with what I'm doing.
What or who is your biggest motivator?
I think that a huge motivation for me are my 2 older sisters. They're both really successful, strong, independent women, and I've always looked up to them and everything they've done. And also another motivator for me is just moving to Miami, living in a place, because since my major is going to be fashion merchandising, living in a place that's all about fashion and merchandising and just that kind of stuff, and being in the sun, and yeah.
Talk about why you think it's so important to live somewhere that makes you happy.
Well, it's important to live somewhere that makes you happy, because if you live somewhere where you're not happy, then it's that much harder to be happy with what you're doing. If you're living somewhere and you're happy where you live, then it's a lot easier to go find other things that you love and find a job there that you love. But living somewhere you don't want to live and doing a job can just be it can be extra stressful, and just, I don't know, I feel like it's harder to be happy that way. You have to make sure you live where you're happy.
What would be your biggest piece of advice for people to kind of keep pushing themselves and do what they want to do? How you're moving to Miami, or how you're doing this career path you want to go on.
What was the question?
What's your biggest piece of advice, your words of wisdom for other people?
My biggest advice or words of wisdom for other people would be, to take my own advice is to make sure that you're happy, and to make sure that you're happy with where you are as an individual first before you get into major, I lost the wording, commitments. So I feel like it's really important to be happy and satisfied with where you are as an individual in your life before you can move on and grow and be happy with your job or your relationship, or before you start a family. It's really important to make sure that you look into yourself and look at what's going on in your life right now and just figure out what you really want and go for it, but make sure you're happy at the same time.
The only reason I'm not talking right afterwards is because I'm pausing for the in between. But so basically, this is going to be about what motivates you, what drives you, where you see where your passion comes from and stuff. So, is there anything else in terms of that you want to talk about?
A lot of my passion and motivation, though, comes from a lot of it comes from growing up in a small town on the west coast of Washington, where it's always rainy and gloomy for most of the time, and visiting Florida or beautiful sunny places. I think it's kind of weird, but a huge motivation for me is to make sure I move somewhere that makes me happy, that I feel like I fit in better. And I definitely don't belong living in Western Washington. Growing up, I don't know, it's not for me. I definitely need to be in the sun, and that's a huge motivation. And it no one really thinks that weather or a state or a place can be your main focus or motivation to be happy or for success, but it's definitely one of the biggest factors in my life, and my motivation to move to Miami and start my career there is the weather and the beach and the people and the location and just the atmosphere.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we could cover. So give some piece of advice and start it with remember, for example, you could say, remember that it's okay to put your happiness first in order to get to where you want to be, something like that. So give some sort of piece of advice as far as motivation or inspiration or keep dreaming that starts with remember. Or it's important to remember to always, or never forget to blah blah blah.
It's really important to look out for your own happiness and be selfish for yourself. Be selfish with your emotions. Be selfish with schoolwork. Be selfish to look out for yourself, because if you put everyone else before you constantly, then you're not going to get anywhere, and you're going to constantly be stuck behind people. And it's really important for people to remember to be selfish with themselves and make sure that they're going after what they want, even if it means, you might have to make a few hard decisions and maybe let a few people down, but in the end, you will be much happier if you look out for yourself. But, I guess. I don't know. I literally don't know.
The thing is that you're saying great stuff and then you're ending it with,
well, because I was going to say something else, but then I feel like that's, off topic, and it's,
what?
Stretching. I was going to say, but make sure you, see, I don't know how to word it, that's why I, pause. Make sure you, don't lose connections, or, be selfish with yourself and your ways, but you also have to make sure that you have connections with people. You have to be able to work with people, and, I don't know how to say it, make sure you keep people, on your side, too. like, don't be selfish in the way where you have no friends and that you're a bitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, because I don't want to just say like,
Like,
oh, be
but
selfish
you
to
could,
get on top.
yeah, you could say something like, you know, your like your dreams matter, and it's okay to put those in front of, you know.
Yeah, it's okay to make sacrifices for yourself, or
Say that.
like, your dreams matter, and it's okay to make sacrifices for yourself. Maybe you have to sacrifice another job or a friend, or it could be anything, but it's okay to make those sacrifices in order to get where you want to be in the future.
Perfect. Trying to think if I want you to say like your name, or no, I'll just probably put it on there. Define inspiration and then define motivation. Or are they the same thing?
Inspiration and motivation.
Yeah.
I would say that inspiration and motivation are really similar. Maybe, like, because usually something inspires you, and, like, usually something drives. Oh, they're like the same thing, aren't they?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. Okay. I see inspiration and motivation as being pretty much the same thing, because something can inspire you, something can, like, oh, shoot. I don't know how to talk about both of them. Motivation to me means, that sounds weird. How do I say? Define motivation. It's like having something that drives you for what you want. To be motivated is to have the desire to accomplish something or do something. Inspiration is along the same lines. To be inspired to do something is to really want to, like, go out and do anything possible to get to where you want to be. My biggest 3 motivations are money. I mean, it's hard to survive without money, and usually, like, having money as support is really nice. Another motivation would be being happy. I mean, doing what you love. Like, motivation to go get a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising is because I love clothes and I like working with them, and that's something I could see myself doing for my career. And another motivation is I guess just happiness and living life.
Is it hard to dream and strive and keep going?
As a college kid, it can be really difficult or really hard to stay motivated, because at the time you're just focusing on the next assignment and your classes every morning and your next test, and you're just focusing on what's going on now, and you always wonder, okay, like, what is this doing for me? Like, why am I doing this? This is horrible. Why am I putting myself through this? And you always, like, I tend to forget, because it's preparing me for my career. It's preparing me for what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life. And so, yeah, it can be really hard to, it's really easy to lose your motivation when you're stuck in, like, the college atmosphere and classes and social life. But then you'll snap back and you'll, like, think about your future, and then you realize, okay, yeah, there is a reason why I'm doing this. There's a reason why I'm trying to get good grades. There's a reason why I'm going to school, because I have a future that I want to get to.
That's perfect. I think